You are about to see Chistine King speaking at the UC Santa Cruz Kresge Town Hall on Thursday, October 9th, 2014. The event was hosted by the UC Santa Cruz Common Ground Center, Education for a Just and Sustainable World. To find out more, visit kresge.ucsc.edu/common ground.
And going in line with the theme today, which is the art of living a meaningful life, to start off gratitude today, I want you to think in your mind, who is someone who has supported you in leading a meaningful life, and in what ways have they done that? And we're going to do a little pair share. And so if you could just turn to the person to your left or right or behind you and share gratitude for someone who has supported you in that. That we have all of that love flowing. Put your hand over your heart, rub it around, and throw all that gratitude up into the air. Yeah. Settle back in. Thank you.
Passing it on, all right. Welcome back to class, everybody. I wanted to take care of a couple of class matters, and then we have an exciting beyond announcement from Lady Sherman, who's running for Santa Cruz City Council, and then Chistine. Glad you could make it here. Did you walk from your house or did you ride down just now? She lives like 10 minutes above campus. It's so great that she can just walk right down to Kresge for stuff like this. Okay, so weekly response papers. You can turn in late response papers today to your clan leaders. If you are not in a clan yet, you can turn them into me. I know there's a lot of people adding the class and dropping the class still. So if you're not yet in a clan, you can just turn it into me, and we will get you in a clan on Tuesday, which reminds me, Tuesday we're going to be outside the whole time. We're going to actually meet at the Porter Meadow. So we're going to meet in the meadow. Look for an email from me saying specifically where in the meadow we're meeting. Top of the meadow, bottom of the meadow. We're going to figure that out on Friday when we have our Acorn meeting. And wear shoes, because we're going to be kind of walking and running around out there in the meadow, so please dress appropriately. It's also been quite hot lately, so you might want to, wear layers. So if it's hot, you can take off layers. If it's cold, you can put on layers. And in terms of running around, the class is all challenge by choice, so you don't have to run if you don't feel called to run. But we will be outside the whole time playing games and practicing some core routines of nature connection that tend to make people really happy and move towards leading a meaningful life, which is the subject of today. That's all I have to say right now, so we pass over to Lady Sherman and we can all have a seat.
Thank you all so much for having me. I just got off an airplane an hour and a half ago, so please pardon me if I'm slightly jet lagged. I love that the subject of your class today is how to lead a meaningful life, because grappling with that question is part of what led me to run for city council in the first place. Some of you have heard a little bit about me. I think someone came a couple days ago and talked a little bit about me. I'll just give a brief introduction. I would love to hear questions and comments from you all, because my favorite thing is that interaction and that engagement. So I've been teaching self-defense and safety skills in Santa Cruz for about a decade now. And it started as a way to put myself through grad school. And when I graduated, I decided that I would see if I could turn it into a real job. So I created a program that's now a required part of the physical education curriculum in all the middle schools and high schools in Santa Cruz. That required working really carefully with a wide variety of people. But it's one of the ways that I feel like I can really give back and create meaning in my life. So my job here in Santa Cruz is literally keeping our young people safe. And that job has been incredibly satisfying and rewarding and challenging and taught me a lot. Partly about how to get stuff done in complicated bureaucracy. I work with the school board and the city council. I work with the police department. Huge range of people that have vastly differing political views on a wide range of things. But we all want this common thing. We all want our kids to be safe. So learning how to do that, I feel like that's been really useful in terms of what I could accomplish as a city council member as well. If you'd have asked me 20 years ago when I was about y'all's age if I would ever consider running for city council, I would have probably laughed. I definitely would not have considered that. I come from a grassroots activist, environmental activist background. I understand you guys have a mural about the tree sit that was here a little while ago. I was up there training people at that tree sit because I've been doing tree sit since the 90s. So that's my background, is working with a diverse group of people and taking direct action to try to bring about a better planet. And that journey that started when I was like 15, serving with Food Not Bombs on the streets of Cambridge, Massachusetts, has ended or is continuing right here in Santa Cruz, where I'm running for city council. Part of what inspired me to do this is that I really love the land that we call Upper Campus. I have a really strong connection to that. And I think it's part of our green belt. If you look at a map of Santa Cruz, it connects the Pogonip and Henry Cowell and Wilder Ranch State Park and Graywell Ranch. And I don't think it's an appropriate site for development. And believe it or not, the decision for developing that right now, the way it stands, doesn't lie with the university. It actually lies with the city, because the university needs water to do it. And in order to get that water from the city has to extend the boundaries of where they supply water. So as a city council member, I think I would be able to influence that. And I really encourage you to go walk around Upper Campus. Raise your hand if you've walked on Upper Campus in the past month or so, right? And if you haven't, please look around this room and find somebody that has and ask them to take you on a walk. It's an amazing treasure that you have here that's connected to your campus. It's really an incredible place. And like all of our open spaces in Santa Cruz, it's threatened. So when you walk around, if you walk the Pogonip or Henry Cowell or other places, those were all fought for. And I think Upper Campus is worth fighting for as well. That's one of the things that's motivating me to run for city council. I'm also really concerned about some of the rhetoric downtown around performance, and especially around how we treat the most vulnerable people in our population. There's a lot of emotion-based rather than evidence-based rhetoric going around about homeless people, and I want to make sure that when we're creating policy, we're not coming from a place of being afraid. We're coming from a place of being informed and educated. I'm really concerned about our water future here in Santa Cruz. I don't think desalination is an appropriate path right now. The risks to our marine sanctuary are not acceptable. It's way too energy intensive. Right now we have a water crisis, but within a decade we're going to have an energy crisis. So using energy to solve our water problems is pretty much a dead-end street. We need to be really careful about this. Having said that, I think there are some great solutions for water in Santa Cruz, and the one thing that I am grateful to the drought for is that it's brought all of our attention to water in the watershed that we live in. So I think that's a positive thing, and I want to build off of that. That's probably enough about me. Do any of you have comments or questions? Because as I said, my favorite part of this is engagement. Anything from anybody? There's like 100 of you here. Do you have a question? Yeah. Do you have a microphone?
Thinking about keeping kids safe, I'm wondering what, for the lack of a better word, you think is like the biggest threat to that? Or when you're thinking about children, what are you thinking about doing for them differently?
So when I teach my classes for kids, I have a specific curriculum that mostly focuses on awareness and confidence, the way you present yourself, and not being afraid to stick up for yourself. Some of the changes that I've made in town and in schools include infrastructure improvements like lighting changes. So for kids in particular, I can go way into the weeds on this because I teach self-defense. For kids in particular, they're often more at risk from people that they know than strangers. And so teaching them about that awareness and giving them permission to speak up for themselves is really important. Here in Santa Cruz, I see one of the biggest dangers, not just for individual safety, but for all of our health of the community, is that we have a lot of mentally ill people that live on the streets in Santa Cruz, and that's not a safe place for them to be living. And here in this country, we have 10 times as many mentally ill people in federal prisons as we do in psychiatric institutions. That's just wrong. That should not be the case. So one of my big concerns in town is making sure that we have facilities and services for people that suffer from mental health issues. That's better for them, they get the treatment that they need. It's better for others because there's not people that have mental illnesses struggling with basic survival on the street. It turns out that's better for safety as well because the police spend so much of their time and resources dealing with social behaviors and mental health issues. So it's better for the police, and bonus, it saves the city tons of money. There are other cities that have implemented programs like this, notably San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio saved $60 million by implementing a recuperative care center for mentally ill people. So I think that's sort of a big threat to our community fabric as a whole that I'd really like to focus on if I'm elected to city council. Thank you. Do you want the microphone or no?
Maybe just one or two more.
Okay. Should we leave that up to them? I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
so what would be your top priority if you were elected? And do you have any thoughts about housing?
Yes. Okay, so top priority if I'm elected, I'm just going to reveal how pragmatic I am here. I don't know if you all are very familiar with how our city council works, but you have to get 4 votes if you want anything done on city council. So if I get elected and I go in there like on fire with all my idealism and I'm not forming working relationships with the other people on the council, I'm not going to get anything done at all. It's going to be like a bunch of 6-1 votes for 4 years, and that is futile, I think. So one of the things that's happened for me as I get older is that I recognize the value of incremental change, which is a long way of saying that my top priority if I get elected is going to be forming working relationships with the other people on the council and figuring out what I have in common with them and what are small, measurable goals that we can achieve. Clearly, it's an uphill battle for me. I'm a grassroots candidate. I'm a community member. I'm not a political insider. I don't have a lot of wealth or anything backing me. So that's going to make it a little bit complicated if I get elected. Some of the political insiders will be a little bit cranky that someone just did that democracy thing and got elected because they had good values or whatever. I'm really committed to working with those people, even if they're cranky at me, and figuring out what are the small things we can work on together so that we can build trust and accomplish some of those larger goals. As far as housing, you mentioned, obviously we have a housing crisis here in Santa Cruz. As a city council member, the most direct way that I can affect that in a 4-year term is by easing some of the restrictions on accessory dwelling units, which are the little units people build in back of their houses. Right now, there's some pretty strict restrictions on them, and if you don't meet them, you can often pay your way out of it. I'd like to make it a smoother process to grandfather those in that don't violate health and safety codes, and to make it easier to build those. So that's one idea that I have about housing. Right now, developers in Santa Cruz are supposed to create 15% of the housing they build is supposed to be affordable housing, but they often just pay a fee instead of doing that, and I would like to reinstitute that. So those are some of the sort of immediate things that I can see around housing just in a 4-year term. In long term, we're going to have to work on the job attraction here so that people that live here can afford to work here as well. Should I take just one more question? Okay, sorry, thank you all very much. So please, like I said, I'm a grassroots candidate. I don't have a lot of political connections. I need all the help I can get if I'm going to get elected, and I hope that includes some of you in this room. I'm going to be on campus every day handing out flyers and leaflets, and I need people to help with that. Some of you have received various pieces of literature from me that have my phone number on them and my website. You can contact me through my website, which is just lanysherman.com. My email address is laney@cruzio.com. And whatever you do, please register to vote here in Santa Cruz. Vote locally. Even if you don't vote for me, please vote in this election. It's really important to get involved in this process. Oh yeah, you can register online. It's registertovote.ca.gov, and you can do that till October 20th. So it's coming right up. You've got like a week and a half where you can register. So if you're not registered, it takes like 5 minutes to do it online. David won't even notice if you do it during class. So please get out and vote and take advantage of this thing called democracy that we're all so lucky to enjoy.
Thank you, Lainey. Great example of, again, intergenerational partnership. So now I'm going to pass it over to River to introduce our speaker, Chistine.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to introduce Chistine King as our speaker today. Chistine is a mediator, facilitator, and certified trainer in nonviolent communication. For the past 3 years, she's been piloting restorative justice programs in elementary schools and other spaces. Chistine is the co-founder of Common Ground Center, and she teaches classes here at Kresge on nonviolent communication, restorative justice, as well as transformative action, the last of which I had the privilege of TAing and collaborating with her on in the winter. Within and beyond her formal work, Chistine is someone who embodies her values through her words and actions. She's also a personal mentor of mine. Chistine King.
Thank you, River. others of you will consider taking a class. My winter class is right here in the town hall. Hi, Karen. Right here in the town hall, Transformative Action, and it's really for students who want to be activists in ways that are proactive and positive. What are you wanting in the world versus what are you not wanting? So following your vision, your passion, your heart. Hopefully you'll get community service too, because there's a civic engagement component to it. Raise your hand if you're registered to vote. Oh, right, excellent. Well, I hope in a couple of weeks there'll be everybody here, because it sounds like we have a candidate that really could make a difference. I didn't know you were still here, but by the way.
Feel free to talk.
Yeah, and I was going to tell you, my home is right across from the property you were talking about, so if that's developed, the price of my house will go up. But I don't want it to be developed. So just a little sideline there. Great, so David asked me what I wanted to talk about, so he gave me free rein, and I chose the topic, the art of joyful living, cultivating compassion, gratitude, and happiness, a tall order, I must say. And so I'm just going to want to introduce a few different techniques for you that I hope are helpful and useful, and we're going to start right now. So I invite you to put your feet on the ground. Anything in your lap, maybe put it on the floor. And either close your eyes or softly focus your gaze. Take some slow, deep breaths. And allow your body to relax. Just incorporate any sounds you hear into the quieting. Relaxing your forehead, relaxing your eyes. Your chest, your neck, your shoulders, your belly, anywhere where there might be a little tension or tightness. With each out breath you take, see if you can relax your body just a little bit more. Bringing your full attention to the here and the now. Just letting go of what came before, letting go of what comes after your time in this class, so you can bring your full attention to this moment. I'd like for you to take a few moments to reflect on the word joy. When you think about joy, what does this evoke in you? What images come to mind where you might feel joy? How is joy most naturally expressed through you? And notice if you have any resistance to the word, and if you need to, find words that most closely express a state of well-being and contentment. What goes on in your body when you experience joy? Some image may come to mind. Where do you experience joy in your body? What does it evoke inside of you? So take a few more deep cleansing breaths. And when you're ready, open your eyes again. Return to the room. So I'm going to invite you in silence to find a partner, preferably someone you don't know, that you didn't come with. In silence, find yourself a partner. Raise your hand if you need a partner. Okay, find a partner. Keep your hands up if you need a partner. Anyone else? Raise your hand if you still need a partner. You can sit anywhere you want. So you want to sit next to your partner. So I'd like to give each of you a few moments to share. Where do you experience joy? How does it show up for you? What images might come to mind? And this will just be one personal share, and then the other personal share. If you don't know who should go first, how about the person with the longest hair can go first? We'll give you approximately 2 minutes. And the person who's listening, please give them the full gift of your attention. Okay? Go ahead. Okay, so finish whatever sentence you're on. Okay. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see a couple of hands. How and where and when do you experience joy? Yeah.
What really moved me the most was thinking about how my almost just swore, sorry, how stoked my friends are sometimes. Like I have these images of my friends just popping off in their joy and their passions, and I don't know, that one was moving me the most right now.
So what she was just sharing, it's like you're just one step ahead of me right now, is feeling joy in the joy of others. And we're actually going to do an exercise about this in just a little bit. And there's a term in Buddhism, it's called mudita. Raise your hand if you've heard of mudita. It means sympathetic joy. So when she experiences sympathetic joy. Okay, someone else. Yes?
Listening to music.
Listening to music. So especially music that just fills your soul and you're just vibrating with the sound of that music and just maybe off in a whole different place.
Also when it's really sad, sometimes having that opportunity, somebody to relate to me or to relate this emotion to something outside myself. There isn't necessarily a sense of excitement, but a sense of a level of safety with them and leads to joy.
So are you saying when someone else is sad? Is that what you're saying? Oh, emotionally connected. Okay, great. Connected to the emotions. Yeah, thank you very much. Some more. So when do you experience joy?
I experience joy when I see nature. When I might have to meet a here and I look at the ocean, it's just so pretty. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that just made my stressful day. And then there's times where I was in my dorm and I pictured myself like Rapunzel. And then once I felt like I was Rapunzel, getting out of the shower, enjoying the environment, looking how pretty the trees are.
So in a kind of imaginary state, and just imagination, being in a sort of creative state. And also I heard you say, you connect to joy when you connect with nature. Raise your hand if that's true for you, connecting to nature. Okay, let's hear a couple more.
When I'm dancing,
Dancing, kind of in the flow and in the moment and in the movement of it all, and you feel joy.
yeah.
Nice. Dancing. I can repeat it, David, so. Thank you. We're good. Yeah.
Reading a really good book.
So reading a really good book. So you're in this maybe novel or this book, and you're maybe even lost in it. So really fully immersed in the book, and maybe time and space just kind of go away. Yeah. Anyone else experience that? Yeah. I know that feeling. It's really a beautiful feeling. Yeah, one or two more. When do you connect to your joy?
Horseback riding, and not only just jumping around in the ring, but especially going on trail rides and going on the trails.
So imagine connecting with an animal and also connecting with nature and just flowing around on the horse, yeah. So these two here. How about you?
I experience joy with the absence of uncertainty. I feel like at this age especially, the rest of your life is uncertain. So when you're kind of in the moment, you have something that's bothering you and you're not really sure about. Like today, getting a class, I found this class and now everything's good. And I feel really happy about it.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that when you have this sort of, maybe a little
It's like
anxiety.
a release. It's like a
around-
tightness that is just
Yeah.
released.
Yeah, so anxiety around not knowing, and then you find something and it works for you, and then it's dependable. All of a sudden, there's a relaxation and a release and a sense of contentment. Thank you.
Oh, I think when I see my friend or friends at a distance, and I just brighten up because I'm able to rush to them with finally seeing them, trying to see them again.
Yeah. So seeing friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then connecting with friends. So, okay, I said that those two and I lied. Last one.
Oh, last one? Okay. Well, for me, just any kind of creative enterprise is both a really difficult thing and a joyful thing, and it's almost a symbiotic relationship. Because it's so difficult, it's also a worthwhile thing and something that brings a lot of contentment just from that.
So you're really focused on something and you're in your creative juice and energy, right? Great, lovely. So what did you notice about all these shares? What did you notice?
So anytime you completely lose yourself in an activity.
So maybe losing yourself and being fully present in the moment. What else did you notice?
Connection.
Connection to something.
Or something.
Like an animal, or nature, or beauty, or creativity, or love, friendships. Yeah. So there's this beautiful connection happening. Yeah.
Maybe things people are passionate about.
Things people are passionate about gives them joy. What did you notice? What there wasn't in those shares? I feel joy when I win the lottery. I feel joy when I get a new car. I feel joy. I didn't hear anybody talk about a particular achievement, maybe getting in a class, maybe, but like a particular achievement or gaining something. So there are researchers who work with the emotions, and many of them say that joy, first of all, it's our birthright. It's a natural, spontaneous feeling that children are often in that place of joy because they're so connected. And so we were born with that. Unless, as a child you had a lot of trauma, in which case you may not have experienced it so much. But most children are in that state of joy. So it is our birthright, and it's something that we can reclaim. So when you find yourself, it's not something you have to necessarily look for, or you don't have to go out and achieve it like, I'm going to go find some joy today. But when you feel it, you know it. And I would encourage you to notice that feeling. I'm feeling a sense of joy. And then, kind of register it in your body, what that feels like. And acknowledge it to yourself. Wow, this is joy. This is what joy feels like. So what happens in your body when you experience joy? What happens in your body? How does it feel? Yes?
When I'm really joyful, my arms really tense because sometimes I like it's around others and I want to give them like a hug, but sometimes I'm not okay with that, so I'm just
My arms tense up because I want to hug somebody. This is great. I've never heard that before. Not that I never asked that question, but I love that. Okay, way in the back.
Sometimes I have trouble breathing because there's like so much energy that like I forget that I have to breathe.
Yeah.
But sometimes that kind of helps though. It makes it like.
So I heard her say she can't read because she's probably with so much energy. You just can't really probably can't balance your checkbook either. Not that anyone here has a checkbook, but oh well. Yes.
I feel really warm and my body will get.
So sort of warmth and a kind of tingly feeling.
Well, I connect with the guy who was talking about his arms get really tense. I just like want to hug everyone. When I'm like really happy, I just want to go up and hug everyone. That and I like vibrate, like not literally, but like I feel like I'm vibrating.
Like resonate, something's resonating inside. Vibration. You want to hug everybody. Somebody in one of my classes this morning said you have to hug something for 8 seconds in order for like the oxytocin to release itself, the feel-good hormone. So 8 seconds. Be sure to count next time you hug somebody. Yes.
Like a flood of emotions goes from your stomach right into your face, and it's really obvious.
It all flows in. This flood flows up into your face. Nice. Thank you. Do I see a hand over here? Yes.
My voice gets higher than the pitch, and like my cheeks start hurting, and I start smiling, and I can't speak correctly. Yeah, that's just the feeling is just really warm and it's tingling.
Warm and tingling feeling. Nice. Thank you.
Sometimes I can't contain it, I just jump around a bit.
Jump and jump and jump like a child. Yeah. So yeah, go back to that child. That's great. Just jump around. Can't contain it all. Yeah, last one.
In my heart, just like love, a lot of love in my heart.
Feeling a lot of love in your heart. So you'll notice that joy comes in a lot of different flavors. And I'm sure all of us know at least one person and we think, wow, that person's really joyful. And maybe they're optimistic and happy and positive all the time. But joy comes in all different flavors. It could be just a quiet contentment with life. It could be an exuberant, joyful, jump up and down state. For each of us, we have our own flavor of joy. So whatever you heard here, know that that's unique to that person, and you have your own personal joy. So I know that we're living in a world that is very challenging. There's many things happening in the world that we could say, well, gosh, there's no room for joy, because if I don't get out there and change the world, it's going to go to hell, and I have to do something about it, right? That's not to negate any of that. But I think that when we bring joy into our lives and we embrace joy, we can help release some of the suffering in the world. So connecting to our own joy is really a way of service. Connecting to joy is a way of service to yourself and to other people. David called me about 2 minutes to 4. And I was talking to my 88-year-old auntie on the phone, and I noticed he was calling, and she and I were just finishing our conversation anyway. I picked up the phone. Hey, David, what's up? He goes, well, we're all in the town hall. I said, oops, I guess I was supposed to be there at 4. I thought it was 5. So, if you were in that situation, what would you do? Somebody calls you and you know you're supposed to be somewhere talking to a group of, I don't know, 75, 100 people. What would you say to yourself? Anybody?
Oh my God.
Say it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Anybody? How about this? What an idiot. Why didn't I check my calendar? What's the matter with me? That was stupid. So, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands. And a lot of us talk to ourselves in ways that are less than kind. Ways that are less than kind. So, having that experience, and David knows me to be a very conscientious person, I'm usually early for events, which is probably why he called me at 2 minutes to 4 when he noticed I wasn't here, so thank you for that. So it was an opportunity for me to test myself just a little bit to see if I could stay in that place of self-compassion. And I've had this mantra lately, and the mantra is, keep waking up. Keep waking up. So while years ago I might have kind of beat myself up about that and berated myself for not, noticing the calendar or not being aware of what time I was supposed to be there, I just said to myself, keep waking up. And then I very mindfully, but somewhat, a little quicker than normal, put everything down, walked out to my car, and drove here. And luckily I live right behind you, so it wasn't a really big deal when you guys had other things going on. So how we treat ourselves is often how we treat others. How we treat ourselves is how we treat others. I love this expression. Self-care is the highest form of service. I'll say it again. Self-care is the highest form of service. I know many of you are activists. I know many of you are involved in a lot of amazing things in this world. And I know you have a strong need for contribution, as do I. And please take care of yourselves. Please do whatever it takes to get enough sleep, healthy food, fresh water, exercise, all those things that show compassion to yourself. Okay? Well, let's go ahead and we'll just do another exercise, and this time you don't have to get up, you can turn to the person next to you. I'd like for you to share with them what you do, or maybe what you'd like to do for self-care. How do you take care of yourself? Even at times when there might be a lot of stress going on. And maybe even, especially at times when you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, like most UCSC students do. Okay, so let's do this in silence, and I'll have you raise your hand if you still need a partner. So just maybe the person next to you. Tub with Epsom salts and music playing. And I can just forget the whole world. Sometimes I'll have a book in the tub. Once I fell asleep and I dropped it. That's all right. I was obviously very tired. Yes.
I like to climb a power tree and watch the sunrise or sunset.
Climb what kind of tree?
Oh, it's this tree that's in Upper Campus.
Oh, a power tree. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's,
Would have been fun to go last night and watch the moon, huh?
oh my gosh. It's tough to climb at night, but
Watch the eclipse of the moon. So climb a power tree and watch the sunset. Is it a redwood?
no, it's a Douglas fir.
Nice. Climb a
Really
tree.
tall, so it's-
Raise your hand if you'd like to climb a tree. Nice. Okay. Let's hear a couple more. What do you do for self-care?
I draw. So
You draw?
Yeah, I'm an art. I'm kind of artsy, but then I like drawing because when I draw, it's like I could express my emotion of what I'm drawing, or how like my family
yourself through your drawing. And even if you don't consider yourself an artist, you know, I hope that you will draw and find creative activities to do, because I think we learn to critique ourselves and we're not good enough, you know, but it is good enough, you know. So, let's hear some more. Yes?
I like to walk down to the beach and just sit on the coast and listen to music.
Walk down the beach, sit on the coast, and listen to music. So we're so lucky we have a beach here in Santa Cruz, aren't we, to watch the sunset, you know, look at the beach. Yeah, let's hear some more. In the back?
I like to eat a lot of good food.
Good food.
A lot of it.
A lot of it. But good food.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, yes.
I cry and I don't hold things back. I don't keep my
Yay. A lot of resonance with that. Crying. Don't hold it back. And that's the way to take care of yourself. Hooray, hooray. And emotions are so important, to befriend our emotions and not be afraid of our emotions or not suppress our emotions. You know, we're taught at the university that the intellect is what's important. But did you know that there's an electromagnetic field of the brain? It's just like 12 inches. The electromagnetic field of the heart is like 12 feet. Isn't that interesting? There are cultures that call this the brain. Can you imagine if we called this the brain? How interesting that would be. Okay, a couple more. Yeah.
If I run or I exercise.
Run and exercise for self-care.
Yeah.
Hooray.
swim.
Swim. I'm a swimmer too. Swimming is so nice. I think about swimming and about how, you know, the first time maybe you went in the water, it was kind of scary and maybe you thought you were going to drown, you know. And then we started to develop this trust of the water, and we can let go. And that's a little bit about life, I think. It's kind of a good analogy to life. Like, when we trust and we let go, the world is such a nicer, easier place to be in. Yes?
I'm like an artsy person too, so I do photography, like whenever I do that, I just kind of
Taking photos is a way for self-care. Yeah, and you really enjoy that. Nice. Yeah.
I usually try to find friends, because focusing on somebody else kind of helps you just kind of let go of whatever you're thinking about inside yourself.
Yeah, so focusing on someone else, then you can just, it's a way of self-care for you to help maybe care for someone else. That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
Definitely prayer.
Prayer, meditation, any whatever your connection is to spirit. Yeah. Yeah.
I like to use the slackline and
Okay, so martial arts, but more like qigong and those kinds of exercises for self-care. Hooray. Okay, one or two more. Yes.
Call my mom.
Call my mom. So sweet. I told you I was teaching a couple of classes this morning, and I can't remember what, everyone was sharing with each other what was working for them as a student. And this one male student, he said, my mom calls me every night before I go to bed, and it just takes all my troubles and cares away. But there's something I love about your generation, like your parents. I love that. Okay, yeah.
I feel like when I can go into the forest and tune into, either just look up and tune into the very grand, or look in the soil and tune into the very minute, and somehow lose myself in the greater world that's out there. And nothing seems that scary.
Nothing like a little dirt. Just get your hands dirty, look in the soil, and look at the cosmos and see what's the big picture and the minutia, the small picture. Okay, is there one more? Somebody's dying to share one thing you do for self-care. Great. Okay. No, yeah. Oh, you did? Okay. So yoga and really moving every part, every ligament of your body to feel that kind of flexibility in your body and to strengthen it as well, and how good it feels to be able to move all parts of our body. It feels particularly good the older you get. You really want to be able to have that flexibility. So I want to encourage you please take care of yourself. Self-care, self-care, self-care every single day. Doesn't matter how much work you have to do, the work will not go away. But taking care of yourself, how valuable that is, you are contributing to peace in the world. You really, really are. Okay, so I want to segue, and we talked about this earlier, what I call mudita, or sympathetic joy. Now, I would say for most of my life, if somebody told me about an achievement or an accomplishment or something wonderful that happened to them, I would feel envy. I would feel jealousy. And I might even say, oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so envious. And I love the feeling of mudita, sympathetic joy. So instead of just telling you about it, I'm wanting to do another meditation around it. And in order to do that, I'm inviting my 25-year-old friend in New York City. Her name is Elizabeth Peugeot. She teaches compassion cultivation training to Cornell University doctors and graduate students and administrators how to be more compassionate. And if you're interested, there's a class going on in Santa Cruz that started yesterday on compassion cultivation training, but talk to me about it because there's some more room and they're giving discounts to students, so it'd be great if anyone in here was interested, and I can talk to you about that after the class. Anyway, so Elizabeth teaches this class. She's 25 years old, which is amazing. And so she's very close to your age. And she's working with these much older and more established people and helping them to cultivate more compassion in their lives. So this is a meditation. I'll turn off the lights and I'll invite Elizabeth by computer. Don't worry, it's not Skype, it's just an audio tape. This is about a 10-minute meditation. Okay?
Just to cultivate a beautiful quality of heart, one that appreciates and rejoices in our own joy and in the joy of others. It's a quality and practice that upon seeing the happiness of others takes delight and wishes for their happiness and success to continue. Letting every being's joy be your joy. Mudita is a quality that counteracts the habitual negative pattern of the mind and heart to look at what's wrong, to look at what's lacking, and to be critical. We turn our attention to the good, to the happiness, well-being of others and ourselves, to allow qualities of appreciation, gratitude, and pure delighting to emerge. Beginning by finding a posture that's comfortable, where you can be alert, relaxed, and awake. Sitting as an expression of kindness to yourself, to your physical self. And now bring awareness to the heart center and feel the breath as it moves through the chest. Feel the breath as it moves into the heart and out of the heart. Let the breath relax this area around the heart, making it warmer and more open. First, connecting to ourselves in some self-mudita, taking time to think about and appreciate the blessings in your own life. Bring to mind some things in your life that bring you joy. Maybe the way the sun or the moon look, a good friendship, or just a light-hearted feeling in your heart and body. Think of something that brings you joy today, right now. Letting yourself take delight in it, and the feeling it gives you. and the joy it brings you. Letting your heart feel some appreciation. Wishing for yourself, may this happiness and joy continue. May it grow and may it flourish. May I be happy. May I feel my own joy, and may my heart be filled with joy. Now take some time to appreciate your own good qualities. For example, that you are sitting, cultivating joy and compassion. And now imagine a good friend who you perceive as happy or as experiencing good fortune. Someone for whom things are going well. Taking a moment to visualize them. Imagine them happy and at ease. Someone experiencing well-being in this moment and some area of their life. Notice how that makes you feel. And now let their happiness be your happiness. Wish for this person from this place of open-hearted joy. May your happiness and joy continue. I rejoice in your joy. I delight in your happiness. Offering these gestures of appreciative joy. I rejoice in your joy. I delight in your happiness. May your happiness and good fortune continue. One definition of love is I want nothing from you and I want everything for you. See if you can wish for this person. I want everything for you. I will delight in your unconditional joy. Sensing how their joy can be your joy. Sensing the beauty of connecting to happiness. May your happiness and good fortune continue. And now bring to mind a person who is suffering, for whom things are generally not going well right now. Maybe a good friend or a family member, someone you really care about. Bring this person to mind. When there is suffering, we tend to focus only on the suffering. But see if you can find some aspect of joy in their lives. Something that still brings them happiness. Maybe an activity they're good at and they enjoy. Maybe a relationship they have with someone. Whatever that source of joy is, sending the wish, may this joy continue. May it grow. May it take root and blossom and fill your heart with joy. Celebrating even a small degree of happiness. And now sending some wishes of loving kindness to this person. May you experience good fortune. May you be happy. May you feel joy and spread joy to others. May this source of joy continue being a part of your life. And may there be others. And now imagining all beings who are feeling joy in this moment, bringing into the heart's mind the idea of every happy person all around the world. Wishing for all of those people. May your joy continue. May your happiness continue. I rejoice in your joy. May any love and ease you feel continue, grow, flourish. May your joy be my joy and our joy. As the Dalai Lama puts it, there are so many people in this world, it simply makes sense to make their happiness a source of our own. Then our chances of experiencing joy are enhanced 6 billion to 1. He says those are very good odds. With this in mind, wish all beings, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe, and may you feel peace. May any joy in your life grow. And celebrating any good qualities of any kind of all beings. Any acts of kindness, any good hearts. And finally, coming back to ourselves. May my good qualities and happiness grow. May I appreciate what's going well in my life. May I rejoice in the joy of others. May the joy of others add on to my joy. And now, honoring yourself for having done this practice, acknowledging the success of this practice today, and dedicating the merits of the practice to the joy of all beings. And now feel the air against your skin. Open your ears to any sounds in the room. When you're ready, begin to open your eyes. And thank you for practicing today.
This is the first time I actually heard a meditation like this, although I'm imagining there are others. And she actually wrote that because she wanted to offer to her students something in a meditation form about sympathetic joy, mudita. So when I heard that for the first time, I just said to myself, that's the way I want to live my life. I want your joy to be my joy. And it just opened my heart in such an amazing way because, I think things like jealousy and envy, they're not useful emotions. And I think it's fine to feel it. If we feel it, just notice that we're feeling it. But can we transform that into this kind of sympathetic joy? I'm just wondering if there's a couple of you who had any sort of, maybe insights into maybe your own life or anything that you got out of this, aside from maybe you felt good, maybe you didn't, but anything that maybe kind of like you want to remember. I'm going to give you the mic.
Hello. I basically realized that I really care about this one person because just imagining them happy made me almost want to cry. Like I just felt so happy, and imagining them like their joy coming from something that I wasn't even involved with, so it wasn't from like a selfish standpoint, but just really, just like imagining that was powerful.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm going to bring the mic to you. That way I don't have to repeat what you say.
I think it just raised my own self-awareness of how much I care about some other people and how easily joy is transferred between two people. You know, even if you're not experiencing whatever they're experiencing, that is giving them joy.
Thank you. So one more. Be brave. Get out of your comfort zone. Yay. Okay, I'm going to pass it back.
What came into my mind was my baby sister, and I feel like she's one of the figures in my family that brings all of us together since we're all different age gap and we're all out of city from hometown, and when everyone's together and when she's there, it's like really joyful. And when I was doing this exercise, I was thinking how much joy she brought to me, and I wish and hope I can give her every joy I can, you know, before I leave.
Thank you. Do a little time check. So, one thing that I hope that you get out of these exercises is, I'm not saying go out and be joyful, and joyful is important, and you should be joyful. Rather, we can activate, we can awaken, we can cultivate joy in our lives. But the other emotions are just as important. So, people who, generally speaking, are joyful can feel all of their emotions. How important it is, because emotions are on this continuum, a long continuum of emotions. Which ones do we allow into our lives, and which ones don't we allow into our lives? Can we allow all of them into our lives and feel them fully, and notice that they're coming as messengers? And we can work to cultivate more joy in our lives by paying attention, by being present, by awakening ourselves to each moment and noticing what joy is all around us. Feeling that feeling of joy in our lives, in our heart, in our spirits, and kind of just staying with that and focusing on that, not trying to hold it or keep it, but just allow it. We can cultivate more joy in our lives. And in doing that, we can spread a more peaceful world, a more compassionate world, a kinder world for everyone. I know one of my topics was gratitude, but I also know that you focus on gratitude in this class. And David is one of the most grateful people I know, so he loves to talk about gratitude, so we won't really have a lot of time to cover that. I was planning to, I was going to share one more thing, and I was planning to end with a song that was written by one of our students from 2 years ago, Robin Liebman, also named Bloom, who just wrote a song, and it's really, I think, a very joyful song that I know you also want to share too. So would you rather you share and then the song, or we do the song first and then share?
I think the song at the end would be awesome.
At the very end, I think so too. Yeah, I agree. So I want to say one thing about this. Gets back to neuroscience. All of us have a part of our brain, it's right behind the ear. It's these neurons that fire, and it's called the amygdala. And the amygdala's job is to protect us and to look for danger, right? So where's that saber-toothed tiger around the corner that's going to So if you've ever noticed the deer on campus, which I'm sure a lot of you have because they're looking for, water and grass, they're always on high alert. Their ears perk up. They're looking for danger, so they probably have a very strong amygdala, which they need to have to survive. So that mechanism is still functioning in all of us, looking for danger, wanting to be safe, wanting to be protected, wanting to be secure. So notice when that comes up in you, because it will come up in us, because it's sort of part of the primitive brain, that primitive part of our brain that wants to protect. But the danger isn't always around the corner, like it might have been in ancient times. But that still functions as part of us. Now, that's probably very useful when you're crossing the street, maybe when you're driving a car, but it can be overactive. So, in some ways, we need to counter that. And one way to counter that is to focus on times when we're feeling happy and joyful, and feeling that fully in our bodies, and encouraging that. One thing I do want to say too about this is feeling happiness and joy. There's all kinds of studies that say, it makes you, you're going to live longer, you're going to have more success in your life, you're probably going to have success with a partner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they say, let's say this mega joy, this uber joy kind of people, and then it's like the people who are not that uber joyful, that you may know people like that, who are actually more successful in life, because it takes a little bit of challenge, and it takes a little bit of disappointment, and it takes that kind of thing to be successful. So if you're like mega joyful all the time, you may not be, as motivated. So that might give you some, comfort knowing that. I know it helped me, because I don't want to be this kind of uber joyful person all the time. I really want to stay connected with all of my emotions and what's up for me. So I'm wondering if there's anything I can end with. I want to just end with wow, you guys are amazing. I'm just so joyful for this class. And I'm so happy that it's a collaborative learning, that you're learning from each other. There was an article this past week in what's called the Primer, which was one of those tabloids that was around campus for all of the students. And a student who had just graduated wrote an article, and what he said was that the traditional form of education is passe, that students need to learn from each other, from faculty, from staff, and that faculty and staff need to learn from students, because we are such an amazingly diverse group of people. And he called that taking your agency. And I'm just very happy for this class, and I'm happy that you're doing all these amazing things you're doing, so keep it up. And that's it.
So, needless to say, I'm really happy to be co-directing the Common Ground Center with you and with all the students in the student board, and you've been a real teacher of mine for many years. I first learned compassionate nonviolent communication from Chistine back in 2007, when I was struggling to have a language for my emotions. I was an apprentice at the UCSC farm and in a leadership position with about 50 other students, and I didn't know how to communicate my frustration and my joy effectively. And so I stumbled upon a flyer that said, Nonviolent Communication class with Chistine King, and I said, that's what I need to do right now. And totally transformed my life. And so, gosh, how many years is that now? 7 years later, I just am honored to be working side by side with you, and I want to encourage you to take Chistine's classes, Transformative Action in the wintertime, Transformative Justice, Transformative Communication. Also, there are a number of workshops that Chistine and her colleagues lead through the Center for Compassion, also known as NBC Santa Cruz, off campus. So, are you able to stay a little bit after class if people want to contact you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
And I
please
also
stay.
have flyers. There's a class on Tuesday from 1:30 to 3:30 that I'm actually taking called Compassion Cultivation Training, and it'd be great if a couple students wanted to join us.
That's this one here?
Yeah, I'm not teaching it. We're bringing someone in from Stanford. This is a whole program that's been developed at Stanford. Raise your hand if you've heard about it.
Yeah, just maybe a couple of you, yeah. They're transforming the world. It's like you combine neuroscientists with the Dalai Lama, and this is what you get.
I wore my wrong shirt for today. I was going to wear the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley. It's the brain on happiness, your brain on the greater good. It shows all the amygdala and all the different parts of the brain on happiness, but next week. So yes, we have a shared research area in the science of happiness and the science of gratitude and the science of pro-social behavior. So if you're interested in that field, you can come check us out at the Common Ground Center. If you're in the class, you're going to be exposed to a lot of that. And also there's the Compassionate University Initiative, which was one of the community action teams. And so if you are looking to switch community action teams, or if you're one of the 5-unit students who enrolled late in Kresge 172, that group still has available spots if you want to join the Compassionate University Initiative, which Chistine is the faculty advisor for, and you heard all about last week. I'm just going to do a couple more logistical things, and then I'd love to bring us back into this field. I don't want to take us away too much, but there were a few things we forgot. So the work that we're moving into for the first part of the quarter is this field, the work that reconnects, and around the Great Turning, and it starts with gratitude and joy and happiness and connecting with that part of our spirit. And so I couldn't think of a better person to come and share about joy, gratitude, and happiness than Chistine. And just think of how we're moving now into other realms, from gratitude and grounding, honoring our pain, right? Being comfortable crying and honoring all of our emotions. And also seeing with new eyes and the consciousness shift that can come when someone knows their joy and their gratitude, but also really faces the world, right? The title of our book, Active Hope, How to Face the Mess We're In Without Going Crazy. So facing the mess we're in can bring out grief that we then want to use to fuel us to see with new eyes and then lastly go forth. So that's the spiral that we're getting into right now. So today was about grounding in gratitude. Moving along, there is an attendance sheet that David has, and you'll be in the back at the table. If you did not sign in on the attendance sheet, please do, so we can mark you as being here. Lainey Sherman wanted to have your support with her political campaign for city council, so if you're interested in supporting her with her very grassroots campaign, here's a sign-up sheet. Please do sign up for that. Oh, for that. 5-unit students, if you haven't selected a community action team, you should do that as soon as possible. And if you're on the Acorn leading a community action team, please come up to the front at the end of class so students can ask you questions and join the team. The sections have started this week, and you should be in one if you're in Kresge 172. Next class is in the meadow, in the Porter Meadow. Again, bring your shoes and be prepared to be outside all day. I love how everyone said that being out in nature makes them happy, so it's going to be a very happy class. And lastly, there are 5 spaces that just opened up in a garden-based herbalism workshop with Darren Huckle that starts tomorrow at 3:30. So there's 5 spots that just opened up. It's a year-long co-curricular workshop. There's no credits involved. It costs $250, and it's on Fridays and Saturdays spread throughout the year from October through May. Darren is an amazing instructor at the base of the Kresge Garden. If you're interested, I'm putting the flyer up front, and you can let me know if you want to sign up. And I'm not going to give you your weekly response prompt right now, because I want to check in with you and really co-create something to ruminate on for the week, but it will be based on the themes of gratitude and happiness. And I'm thinking about maybe your personal mantra, since you have such a good one. So with that, maybe let's just take a deep breath out. Letting go all those logistics I just shared, and passing it back now to Chistine.
So this is just about a 4-minute song about a student who was in my transformative action class, and I'm imagining David's classes as well, who graduated recently. He'll be at Pioneers, and he'll probably be doing some sort of performance there. I heard this song on his Facebook page, and that he wrote. I recently loved it. I thought it really connected with what I just shared, and I hope you enjoy it too. If you feel like moving your feet or your hands or connecting with the person next to you or something, feel free to do that. It's called Less It All, and it goes by Bloom now. That's the name he prefers. I'm serious. I'm imagining some of you might actually know something that you would enjoy sharing. Sorry? A group jam. Do you want to do it? This is not working.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do it.
Oh, well, maybe you can play it. All right.
This is really embarrassing, so feel free to sing along or hum at least the melody, so the words. Okay. No, I mean, you can feel me, but yeah, I'm trying to close your eyes, and I don't think you're all Okay, this is a song that is so much better. This is a song that I learned on National Tree Field Recorder by a beautiful friend named Elena, and it really helps me connect to myself, to the world around me, and those that I really, really care about. And you are the ocean, you are the mountain, you are the sky, you are my friend. You are the beginning, you are the center, you are beyond the end. And I love you so, 'cause you have me see, to see you in all is to see you in me. I'm in you and you're in me. Repeat that. I'm in you and you're in me.
Have a great week, everybody.